He never logs me in.
There's no multi-zone.
Well, not just this one won't accept my credential. I don't know why it works out.
Policy meeting of order, November 15th, 2022, Joplin Schools Board of Education regular meeting. Roll call, please, Pat.
Derek Gander.
Present.
Donald L. Greenlee.
Here.
David Weaver.
Here.
John Hurd.
Here.
Riley Hartwell.
Here.
Jeff Coe.
Present. Okay, you can all please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion.
So-
To approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, motion by Riley, second by Dick. Please vote.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, first up, we got some celebrations. Celebrations, here we go. All right, coaching health and movement program with students, CHAMPS. The CHAMPS Anatomy Academy, part of KCU's Score One for Health initiative, provides students free health screenings and educates them about staying healthy. For 6 weeks, KCU students will teach McKinley Elementary fifth graders about medical terms and body systems through hands-on activities. In the digestive system sessions pictured here, smashed bananas were mixed with vinegar to represent stomach acid and poured into a stocking to represent nutrients being absorbed into the small intestines. KCU student instructors also help kids dissect and analyze a cow's liver. I think they did that over Halloween too, so that's very nice. Thank you for spending time with our students there. Next up, Halloween fun. The Joplin Early Childhood Education Center Trunk or Treat 2022 was a huge success. Hundreds of families attended the event that included fun activities, a chance to meet local police and firefighter heroes, and sweet treats for our youngest Eagles. They had the biggest turnout they've ever had. So next up, community partnerships supporting Joplin schools. Johnson, Voorhees, and Martucci recently provided every elementary school in the district with a Joplin Eagle sweatshirt and stocking cap just in time for the cold winter. A huge thank you to Johnson, Voorhees, and Martucci. Thank you. They've done this several times. South Middle School would like to thank the Horace Mann team for funding Miss Cook's hydraulic arm project for her technology education classroom. Fantastic. All right, those were the celebrations tonight. All right, the board policy committee.
Board policy met October 26th, had a number of policies that we reviewed, notably public concerns and complaints, administration of medication to students, student involvement and decision-making, as well as student discipline. Tonight, we bring two recommendations for first reading for approval for policy KL regarding public concerns and complaints. This was a small edit that we chose to make that was recommended to the board. The proposed language is under the heading process for resolving a concern or complaint, and the edit that we made was that the complainant may be asked to reduce their concern to writing before a principal or administrative response. Sometimes you have parents or individuals who are quite irate, and we always want to be professional as possible, and that may be best resolved in writing. So that's our plan in terms of policy KL. Policy JHCD, the administration of medication to students. And what that means for us is that we edited our current policy, and the language reads that Narcan, also known as naloxone, can be administered by nurses and other individuals who are trained employees to students who are suspected that they're having a possible opioid overdose. So that's unfortunately something that we can be faced with, but we want to be in a situation where we're armed and ready to be able to combat a possible overdose of one of our students. In addition to that, we reviewed policy on student decision-making. Dr. Cichetto spoke to us about this particular issue and our upcoming student forums, how we could possibly address that and what that may look like. And then lastly, we talked a little bit about student discipline and what that looks like. We've reviewed some of those policies. This time we'll be taking no additional action on those. So we're bringing two to you tonight. Very good meeting overall. Had some really good conversation and excited to make some changes to hopefully make things better for us.
Thank you. All right. Also want to share in the School Boards Association held their annual conference the 4th and 5th of November in Kansas City. I was able to attend several of the sessions. John went to several of the other sessions. Harry was there as well. And the School Board Association, for those that don't know, they support the boards and they help us with continuous learning. And they offer sessions on school board related matters and provide support. And it's a good opportunity. Next year's annual conference is going to be in Branson. So it's a little closer than it is to Kansas City. So I encourage you, if you haven't been, it might be a good time to go and visit. And we're also looking at, they have different levels of certification for board members. There's the essentials, there's a advanced, and there's a master's level. And then they also have a board level certification for governance. And we're really, really close to meeting the requirements for a board level award in governance. And I think there's about 8 boards in the state that were recognized last year. So that's something that we'll talk about more in the next few months. But it's something that we've been working internally before, and now we might have an opportunity to be recognized for what we've done. So that was good. All right. Superintendent's data report.
Okay, we have a construction update from Aaron for Dover Hill Elementary. We're getting close, and several of us have been in the building numerous times the last several days, so there's changes every time you go, and excited to hear about them in summary.
Absolutely. Okay, good update tonight. So in progress, we've got landscaping in the islands, planting the trees and sod, and back up a little bit. When the seasons change in Southwest Missouri, dadgum, they change. It's quick. We went from hot and dry to cold and wet. So that's one of the things we're focusing on right now is landscaping. Obviously, it's kind of hard to landscape whenever it's a little wet out there, but we're battling through it. So trees and sod, trees are supposed to start going in starting Thursday. So there's going to be some plant life going in. Installing the metal panels on the exterior canopy, so you're going to be starting to see that red panel. A lot of the silver gray panels have been installed already. Final cleaning in Area B is underway right now. We punched those areas as well. Punch list completed, Area B, architectural and MEP. We've got punch list scheduled for Area A to go on the 17th of November. We've got punch list for the exterior and the roof around the end of November. Punch list for the commons and kitchen areas are going to be around the November 29th date. And punch list for landscape, obviously, that's going to be very last. That's going to be 12/5. So looking pretty good. Front of the building, we've got a lot of the concrete poured in front. Also, if you haven't driven by, all of the asphalt is completed and striped. Looks very good. Playground, I think we've got some photos of the playground here in a little bit. It's very impressive. I've never seen colors on asphalt quite like that. Another look at the front of the building. Starting to look like something. There's a playground. Lots of different colors. The stripers had a fun time with that one. Normally, they're just striping yellow and white, maybe the occasional blue for handicap, but you see greens, you see reds, you see all different colors out on the playground. Pretty neat. And there's your playground on the south side. Looks great. Do what?
It still looks like a rendering and not a photo.
It does, but I promise you, that's a real photo. Pretty impressive. All synthetic turf. The larger photo on the left, that's where, in the back of the building, but that's where your large canopy is going to be, your fabric canopy. And I believe that canopy is yellow, if I don't, yeah, yellow. So another splash of color. Another look at the south side of the building. Oh, I think, let's go back a little bit. Yeah, see in the lower left, the white looking section, that's a template for your eagle. So behind that white, they were stenciling and making sure all the holes line up. That's where your eagle's going. There we go. It's a look from the roof level, looking out in your parking lot. Obviously, landscaping islands are still underway. Lots of rocks on Dover Hill. Go figure. So they're having to clean up a lot of rocks out of the topsoil. A look going down towards Murphy. Also, look at that grass growing. That's underneath the straw mat. Obviously, we put that in early enough where these rains that we're getting now and favorable temperatures, we've got a little bit of grass. I call it frog fur. It's pretty fine, but it's there. Look at the insides. Obviously, we've talked about colors in the past, but boy, those colors are just awesome. Orange. Colors on your main stairs as well. So you see that upper left or upper right, sorry, the yellow. That actually gets a metal panel on that as well. Those panels have been back ordered. They're scheduled in about the 1st of December, but it's to match that color. It's going to look pretty cool. Look down the hallways. Just classroom. There's your blue on the right. Your fixtures. That is upstairs above the media center. I really like that wall. We call it the hamster wheel, but it's pretty impressive if you see it in person. The picture does not do it justice. Chad and his team did an excellent job. Another look at your railing system going down the stair. That's your large eagle cut out of the wood. Pretty impressive. Your gym, it's all striped, done. You can walk on it. Still can't drive anything motorized over it, but you can absolutely walk on it right now. And your photo at the right is your mosaic tile going into your main bathroom group. It's pretty neat. Photo of your large eagle, hand painted, pretty neat. At your main commons area, your wood ceiling, lots of light in that space, lots of light. Kitchen area, almost completed. Looks great. We're about 92% complete overall. So we are at the finish line. Any questions?
Still running on schedule?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep, 12/16 was our last schedule.
Awesome.
Yep. I think Dave's actually moving people in starting at 10. So we will be in there working around all the move-in people, but we'll be good to go.
Saturday, Dave, you know.
Absolutely.
All right.
So the final occupancy permit,
We've got temp occupancy now.
okay. So the final is scheduled for,
I believe it's towards the 1st of December.
okay.
So giving us a little bit of time
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, you feel comfortable with that though?
Very,
Good.
very comfortable.
Very good.
Wow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Ernie.
very welcome.
Yeah, see you shortly.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you. Thank you, Aaron, Chad, as well. Okay, next, we have our strategic focus. Every month, we come to the board with something from our comprehensive school improvement plan to discuss and give you a little bit more in-depth look. And Student Services has a report for us, and Dr. Dickey will provide that.
So for student services, sometimes when we think about school, we immediately go to just the gen ed classroom, reading, writing, and math. And a very important piece of the work that we do here is our student services department. And the work that's happening in student services drives the mission and vision, and we want to do everything that we can to ensure that all of our learners have access to great education that we can provide here at Joplin schools. Student services encompasses a lot of different areas. The big one that might first come to mind would be, of course, special education, but it includes much, much more, even down to, like, there's a lot of hidden things that Joplin Schools does that maybe the community's not quite aware of, that we have classrooms at the juvenile office. We provide supports to our non-publics in our district, our early childhood special education, parents as teachers, and then student services is also the counselors, secretaries, librarians, and much, much more. But before we really kind of get into some highlights, I think this is a good opportunity to recognize all of these staff and the hard work that they're doing. These staff, our special education staff, and our workers that are working with our littlest learners and in our offices and with counselors, they're doing really hard work, and they are working their tails off to ensure that all of our students, their individual needs are met. And we definitely want to take the time to recognize them and the great work that they're doing. Also, a lot of hidden finance work with student services programs have over $1 million of our budget, and that funds a large portion of our staff. We operate the early childhood special education grant and ensure that we're recapturing all the revenue we can to pay for that program. And then we also include in our Medicaid and SDAC billing, where our staff upstairs work hard to ensure we're carrying as much revenue as we can there to do some Medicaid billing for our supplemental services. Just some highlights of current numbers as we're looking at student services, and things fluctuate every single day. Our EL numbers are climbing, our foster numbers are climbing, and our homeless numbers specifically are climbing. We're going to kind of look at some of those in a second. And currently we have 15 students we're serving at the juvenile office, and then our parents as teachers, I'll talk about them a little bit more in just a second, but they are just working really hard to continue to grow their program and make a presence in Joplin and in the state of Missouri. And then you can also see we're serving our early childhood center with our special education students, but also peer models and ADA students that are in classrooms. Some highlights I'm going to kind of run down.
Can we go back one?
Yep.
An idea, percentage-wise, where we're at compared to neighboring districts? Do we have IEP rates? Or we tend to?
We do higher IEP rates. I would have to do the work to get that current percentage for you. I haven't seen the report yet. We'll send that out to us.
So it'll come out at some point?
Yeah, we will get a report back that will show that.
I just trying to get an idea of the workload that the student services might compared to a bigger district.
Yeah,
Seems a little bit more than normal.
it is. And another thing that I had written,
above the state.
it's definitely it's high above the state average for our IEP level. For our homeless students, that's the highest rate that I know of in our area. As we kind of compare, and I'll talk about our homeless populations here in a second. And then our early childhood program, we're one of the only schools around that hosts then a half-day preschool program. All of our children that qualify for early childhood special education, if that's what their parents desire. And then our EL population includes refugee students and migrant students, and that number has been growing. And we'll talk about that population here in a moment.
Jordan, before we go any further, for the people who are at home watching and looking at this, can you kind of go through some of these acronyms, what they
Sure.
mean?
For EL, that's our English learner students, so a student whose first language is not English. IEP, a student on an individualized education program. 504 is a student that is on an individual plan under Section 504. Our foster children, that have been placed in state custody, we keep track of those. There's also a lot of billing that happens with foster students as we track their original domicile and we contact the district from whence they came. Homeless is a student that without fixed adequate nightly housing. Often that may look like we have families doubled up, families living in hotels and shelters. They can be homeless for a lot of reasons and in a lot of different situations. Homebound are our students that are unable to be in the regular school setting day to day, either often for a medical reason, and so we provide them services in their home. Then the juvenile office has 2 classrooms. One is the juvenile detention side, and then we also have a day facility that we provide the teacher for that program. And then parents as teachers, we work with children before birth, actually. We work with families while children are in the womb up until they enter school age. And then early childhood special education. And then our peer models are the students that they fill the classrooms where we have our early childhood special education students. And then our ADA students, they are students that we are able to collect attendance on with the state. When we look at our nursing program, just a couple highlights that I wanted to point out to you. We track individually all the different needs that our students have. And when a student has a specific medical need, we write individual emergency health plans. Some big things to note, we currently are managing 548 asthma action plans. We're managing 185 life-threatening allergy action plans. We have 5 students receiving treatment for cancer. It is unreal the number of needs that we have in our buildings that our nurses are assisting with on a daily basis. And sometimes that may look like general administration of over-the-counter meds, and sometimes that looks like feeding tubes and monitoring those throughout the day and ensuring that some of our more vulnerable students are receiving their nutrients. For our counselors, we are working hard to get on the same page across the district, specifically with our ICAPs, which is individual career and academic plans. We are required by the state to create one for all of our high school students. And so we have them. We're trying to beef them up and make them even more interactive, involve families. Eighth grade, and so we trickle down to middle school, and then we just try to work our way up. And so we're making gains, and the high school and middle school counselors, they want to continue getting better. We're also, the state has a big priority on mental health. We've been at a federal programs conference this week, and the last session I sat in today, he hit heavy on that, and I was proud that all of the suggestions of things that DESE would like to see us implementing, we're doing. We're rolling out, like we've offered mental health first aid. We're working on social emotional learning as far as, working with students embedded in the curriculum about being good humans and having work ethic and what it means to be a good leader and a learner and what we want that to look like. And so we're trying to get on a consistent basis across all of our schools. It's going to take some time, but we all want that to get better, so we're working on it. Early childhood special education, we are close to full, like our classrooms, and we are considering even opening an additional classroom before the school year is out. As we gain students, the state will allocate more funding to pay for additional teachers, and in January, we should hit the trigger to get funding for an additional teacher. And so then we'll add another classroom, and we do have space for that. So we're watching that, and we meet the special education director and Ms. St. Clair. We meet every few weeks to talk about where the numbers are at and when we need to get that rolling. For Parents as Teachers, Carrie Klaus, she is our director of Parents as Teachers, and she also works with DESE. She helps onboard new parent educators in the area. She works, Joplin we have a great name with DESE. We host a lot of their area Parents as Teachers trainings here in our building. And Carrie just does a great job of advocating for us. And she was able, our district was able to secure an additional $100,000 in funding. So we're just working our staff, and they're working hard to do as many visits as they can to ensure we're reaching all of our parents. And they're also working for kindergarten readiness, going into the homes of our incoming kindergarten students and working with parents on things that they can do to help better prepare their children for kindergarten. Our homeless students, Tara Porter is our McKinney-Vento case manager, and she is working really hard. This is her first year. The number of McKinney-Vento students or our homeless students is just growing tremendously. We have 3 different grants from the state and for our homeless populations, and so we use that money to break down any barriers to their access to an education. And so Tara does a great job of serving all of our schools, tracking down our kids if they move from shelter to hotel or back and forth, or in making sure that they get to school and that parents have everything they need for their children to be successful. And then our English learner transition. And as you know, this is our final year with a site-based location, and we're transitioning back to neighborhood schools. And so we've been working really hard to make sure that everybody knows that is happening. And then to prepare staff, administrators, and then our students and their families for that transition. We have been running preliminary numbers to look at where they are going, and we're definitely going to see a more even spread of our EL students across the district. And with that comes, we'll reallocate our title dollars. Right now, our title dollars follow some of our student demographics. And so right now, they're pretty focused in some areas. And so as we do this, we'll allow that funding to more equitably be spread across the district into all of our buildings, and all of our students will benefit from that. And these students, they will get that benefit of being in their neighborhoods with the kids that they're growing up around. This is a great move for our students and what we can offer them here at Joplin. We're working with the Mel Center out of Springfield, the Migrant and English Language Learner out of Missouri State, and they are coming in and working with staff and principals and myself to ensure that we're ready to flow through the transition. There's a couple more slides. It's just to show, I pulled these out of Dr. Mwangi's presentation from a while back, just to kind of show where we've grown whenever she had, what month was that? Do you remember? I don't remember what month she presented this to you.
July. Or
Yeah.
no, that would have been
I
September.
think, yeah, September. So in September, we had 351 homeless, and we're currently at 392. And then for foster care, we've dropped by 4, but just to kind of see where we were at with those students. What's that?
Very nice job.
It's a lot of variety of activities to bundle all together into one name.
It is
Student services.
a lot of things under student services, a lot.
We got a good team behind you, so.
Yep. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. All right,
Next up.
Shelley.
Okay, the health and dental report for this month, it's the 4th month of the year. We spent a little over $2,300,000, which was about 32,000 or 30% of our budget. Our health plan did start in October, so we had open enrollment back in August. So all new enrollees, all new employees are now insured starting in October. So we did see 917 employees take the health plan this year. So that's up a little bit from where we were last October, but we did have last December 918, so I'm not for sure what that jump was there. But anyway, it's a few more took it, and we did are seeing a few more in the HSA plan this year, which is what we were kind of pushing for. It's a good low-cost plan benefit for a lot of employees.
And Shelley, I might add that the more people we have enrolled in our HSA plan does save the district money. Typically, because the way they look at that is those people with an HSA are managing their own medical as well. And so it tends to save us money. So the more employees that choose that plan, oftentimes benefits our plan. Do you have a count of how many of the names that happen?
I meant to pull that, and I did not.
That would also be something good to track to see
Yeah.
how does that flow from year to year. So,
I will get that for next time.
thank you.
And I apologize because that did go through my brain as I was prepared, and then I didn't ever get back into those details. Been out of the office for a few days, so anyway, are there any other questions on the health and dental plan this month? Okay, on the financial statements, if we would look at page 4, our condensed statement. We did, last month I mentioned that we had been approved for the ESSER 2 funds of $6,468,509, and those did come in at the very end of October. You'll see that in the federal revenue. That's what that increase from prior year, that's what that represents there. Overall expenses are not out of line from the prior year. I did get those, I did invest $6.5 million first part of November. We did see interest rates ranging from, for 90 days, starting off some of them 4.48% up to 5.03% going out for 6 months. So that was pretty impressive with most of the funds. So, are there any other questions on the financial statements?
Thank you. All right, any public comments? Next up, we got the consent agenda. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Derek, second by David. Please vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that motion passes. Thank you. Now we're back to Shelly. And now let's see about the.
Okay, accounts payable, and this month, with the early board meeting in November, a comparison purpose, because we only had one bill list. So last year, when we did the November meeting, it did have 2 bill lists, so I kind of just took the first bill list to compare. And this month, it is $6,169,552.86, and last year, it would have been $3,945,000 about. Looking at the whole month of November last year, it was $6,408,000. Some of those big changes are we had I think it was the 5th billing on the train for indoor air quality of $150,000 that was paid this month, and then also the timing of the payroll liabilities.
I'd make a motion to we pay our bills.
Second.
Motion by Derek, second by John. Please vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Dr. Saketa.
Okay, annually, we know that our Board of Education, we have 3 terms that will expire into the new year. And so that we would like to obviously have an election that we do every year to make sure that we have an opportunity for the public to engage in schools. And so we have 3 directors will be chosen to serve as terms for the Board of Education for a term of 3 years. The first date of filing for school board candidate is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022, beginning at 8 a.m. And the closing date for candidate filing is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Names of qualified candidates will be placed on the ballot in order of filing, except for the candidates filing on the first day. The district will determine by random drawing the order in an order of the names the first day the candidates will appear on the ballot. So there will be a drawing the first day for everybody that registers the first day. And then thereafter, anybody who comes in on subsequent days will just be in order after that on the ballot. So there's a resolution that I need to read here. Resolution notice is hereby given to the qualified voters of the school district of Joplin Schools, Jasper and Newton counties in Missouri, that the annual election of said district will be held on Tuesday, the 4th day of April, 2023, beginning at 6:00 a.m. and closing at 7:00 p.m. of said day, to vote upon the following proposition: to choose 3 directors who shall serve as members of the Board of Education of Joplin Schools for a term of 3 years each. Be it resolved that the Secretary of the Board of Education is hereby authorized and directed to notify in writing the clerk of the County Court of Jasper County, Missouri, and the clerk of the County of Newton County, Missouri, of the adoption of this notice of election no later than 4:30 PM on Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, and to include said notification of all the terms and provisions required by law. And then finally, I'll read something real quick from the district. Joplin Schools encourages qualified applicants interested in running for a position on the school board to file to be a candidate in the April 4, 2023 election. Interested people may file at Joplin Schools Administration Building, 825 South Pearl Avenue in Joplin, Missouri. Filing will begin, like we said earlier, on Tuesday, December 6th at 8 a.m. and will continue during the district's regular business hours, which are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Except for the first and last dates, candidate filing will not occur on days that the school district's offices are closed due to inclement weather. Filing will also not occur on the following dates when the school district's offices are closed: Wednesday, December 21st through Monday, December 26th. Candidate filing will resume at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, December 27th, 2022, and close at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, December 27th, at the last day of the candidate filing. Okay? And that ad will also be in the paper. That information will also be in the paper for the public.
I move to approve the attached resolution calling for the April 4th, 2023 election.
Second.
Motion by Riley, second by Don. Complete vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that motion passes. Thank you. Next up, teacher device purchase. Richard.
When we bought the student laptops this year, we filed for ECF, and we got that reimbursed, so I wanted to turn around and take that money and apply to the TDH, or teaching devices that are from in 2013. So we'd like to, and this will replace, there's about 230 of those, and then about 170 will go to the high school, and just replace the high school in one swoop. And that's what we plan on doing with the 400 devices.
I move to approve the teacher device purchase.
Second.
All right, motion by Riley, second by Derek. Any discussion? Please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that passes. All right. Joplin Schools mission and vision statements.
Okay. So we have been working for the past several months to gather stakeholder feedback about our mission and vision statements for the district. They haven't been updated since, I believe, the previous strategic plan 5 years ago. So we've spoken with board members, parents, staff, building principals, and administrative leadership since this summer to gauge feedback on this process. And out of all of those conversations and surveys, some statements rose to the top. Some ideas that they wanted our statements to include more galvanizing and accessible language for all of our stakeholders in the district, including students, parents, community members. Statements should be less technical and more motivational. They wanted to hear something that was inspiring and could bring us together as a district. With the statements needing to be understood by students, parents, staff, and the public. And they also decided that the district would benefit from having a specific tagline or slogan to bring us together, because mission and vision statements are often lengthy. They won't go on a Post-it note or a T-shirt very nicely. And something that a slogan to bring us all together felt important to our stakeholders. We used feedback to create some surveys and to create some voting for the rating process of all the statements that were selected. And we brought the top 2 results in each category, mission and vision and slogan, to Board of Education members in a work session. And the final decisions are presented here tonight to you. Our mission statement. Our mission is to inspire students to achieve their personal best through educational experiences that prepare them to meet tomorrow's challenges. The new vision statement. Our vision is to create a community of learners who are supported, respected, and empowered to reach their fullest potential. And this one felt really important to us because that community of learners is not just our students, it's our staff, it's our parents, it's everyone who has an interaction with our students. And we're all learning together to help our students reach their potential. And the slogan or tagline, learning today for a better tomorrow. So that's what we have.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Everybody made a motion to approve. All right.
But nobody made a second.
Oh, Riley, you want to second it? Riley seconded. Derek, I heard him closer to me. That's just because he was closest. All right, so a motion and second. Any discussion? Thank you for the, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is a great job, very clear and concise. I think it states what we do. And so thank you to everybody that participated for leading this. This is excellent work.
And I echo that. I know usually it's on a wall, somebody can see at some point, but we took a lot of effort and time to make sure that everybody was attached to it and didn't leave out any group. Especially parents and the community is being a part of this, even though they may not be with our kids during the day. They're just as important to the learning process. So.
Right.
All right, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. That passes. Thank you.
All right, policy updates. Riley did a great job of telling us a little bit about what we're forecasting later in the meeting. As far as the two policies, Dr. Dickey, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that conversation?
No, he did a great job summarizing our committee meeting.
I'd make a motion that we approve the policy updates as presented.
Second.
All right, motion by Derek, second by Dave. Any discussion? Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, that motion passes. All right, believe it or not, 45 minutes in, pluses and deltas.
I wanted to echo what everybody said about the mission and vision statements and the work that was done by everybody. I appreciate Sarah's work on it, especially too. Everybody touched it. Everybody had something to do with it. And I think the comment she made about everybody's in this learning together is important. We accept and we want feedback from our staff. We want feedback from our community. We want feedback from our parents. And we want feedback from our kids. I mean, one of the things that I enjoy is getting back in the classrooms and talking to kids. I had the luxury the other day, which we had planned a long time ago, but I'm glad it finally got here, of going in and talking to all three middle schools, at least their leadership council or their student council, whichever, 10, 12 kids each. And then also the high school kids. It was great to get back and talk to them as well. And we asked them a lot of questions, a lot of things about how we could improve services, and they always have great answers. So I think Sarah's comment about everybody working and learning together, parents, teachers, students, administrators, board members, is critical and important. I think that's what our statement says, so I appreciate everybody's work on that.
Another plus, something that we approved tonight in our consent agenda was the MOU for youth scholarships. And then we talked a lot about that at the last meeting, but so as to not let that go unnoticed tonight, that's a great opportunity for our students at Joplin High School to be able to be connected to institutions within the law cases, this region, particular area, for students to be able to know what they're worth in terms of scholarships is on paper in a very easy and digestible way. So good work on that, and just wanted to follow up on that, and thank you for that as well.
Something that we maybe overlooked in the celebrations because we do it each year and maybe we don't think about it. There were some excellent Veterans Day assemblies across the district. Saw you in Soaring Heights.
Yep.
Derek and I went to a couple of schools.
We even went to one way early.
Yeah.
I think we had 4 schools.
Yeah.
It was a mad dash.
It was great to see, and a lot of times if you don't have a student in school, you may not know that it happens, but all the elementary schools had a program. Some of the middle schools were also there. Their bands were performing. It was fantastic, and at the high school, they had a video by veterans that are employees within the school shared with each of the students. So it was a nice opportunity to go out and see a lot of community members out there too. So well done, and something that, unfortunately, we don't see that often, but it was done very nicely. And then a second one that I maybe missed, our boys cross-country team, last year they finished 9th at state. It was the highest they placed in 40 years. This year they placed 6th. So, and there's room to grow for next year. And then our coach, Coach Dixon, was the coach of the year for the COC conference. So coach of the year. So a couple other celebrations there. But I'd say the last big plus is we're done in 50 minutes.
Yeah, I echo what you said related to Veterans Day. We went to the parade. It was a cold morning. Our bands were out there, and I was amazed they could even play their instruments because it's like 25 degrees out there. They did a great job, represented us well.
The one thing that Jeff and I were speaking about is going to each of the schools and seeing the programs are not just cookie cutter. Every single one of them is different. I've been going to South or Stapleton and South and got to experience several other schools this year. So it was kind of nice to see it's.
Everybody's flair on.
It is.
And their own stamp.
All the opportunities for students to participate, the ROTC did a wonderful job in a lot of the things they were involved with for the Veterans Day. Our fall sports were successful. Our winter sports are underway. Our music, our band, and our show choir. I love the opportunity for people to get involved. And I think in this day of digital devices, the ability to work together as teams and all the opportunities we provide, whether it's athletic or arts or all the things, I'm thankful for the opportunities. And we have a lot of them here. It's a good school district. If you want your kid to have opportunities, Joplin Schools is a place to be.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Derek and Donnie, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.